Welcome to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is the Morning Buzz you were tuned into. It is Friday, 7:01 a.m. I'm a minute late. Who's going to say anything about it? Sue me. I am your host, JT Bethia.
I'm your co-host, Gwen Streitman, and today we will be discussing everything from Groundhog Day and many, many more.
That's right. Happy Groundhog Day. I'm so excited to talk about grounds and, hogs. But before we get into all that fun jazz, we have to give you some news, non-groundhog related news. So, Miss Ava Scott, what do we got?
Okay, so good morning. I'm Ava Scott, and this is WMSC News. For our top story, next week, an important test vote will be held by the Senate. They will decide on a bill funding the war in Ukraine and addressing border security. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer plans for the first vote to be on Wednesday. In national news, nearly 140 people became sick on a 3-week cruise. Health officials claim a gastrointestinal illness outbreak is happening on the Queen Victorian. The main symptoms of this illness are diarrhea and vomiting. The CDC states the cruise line has separated ill travelers and increased cleaning procedures. In New Jersey news, a dead man's body was found in Passaic County on Thursday. According to officials, the body was located in the Garrett Mountain Reservation. Police are still investigating this matter. And now for some weather. Today we have a cloudy day with temperatures reaching as high as 41 degrees and as low as 31 degrees. This has been WMSC News. Back to you, JT.
Oh, Ava, what would we do without you and our news? But what would we do without sports? And what would we do without Earl to tell us all that's happening in the sports world? So, homeboy, what we got?
Thank you, JT. Good morning. I'm Earl Spence. This is WSC Sports. In baseball news, the Jackie Robinson statue has been stolen and burned. The MLB are looking to replace the statue of the legendary figure with a brand new one. Now into the NFL. The Super Bowl is set between the AFC champs Kansas City Chiefs versus the NFC champs San Francisco 49ers. And a rematch of Super Bowl 54 in Vegas on Sunday night, February 11th. In the NBA, the All-Star rosters are set as the reserves were revealed last night, and the NBA All-Star game will be on February 18th. Now to the local teams. The Nets are coming off a loss as Kevin Durant returns to Brooklyn, as the Nets lost 136-120. The New York Knicks win their 9th straight, beating the Pacers 109-105, as Jalen Brunson had 40 points after being named to his first All-Star appearance. Now to Montclair sports team updates. The men's basketball team are on a 6-game win streak, recently beating William Patterson on the road 98-75. They next play Stockton tomorrow, February 3rd at 1 p.m. on the road. The women's team are coming off a close loss, 67-60 against William Patterson. They have lost 2 straight and have a chance to bounce back Saturday against Stockton. This is WSC Sports. Back to you, JT.
All right, thank you so much for that, Earl. Now, for those of y'all who weren't paying attention, today is Groundhog Day. It is a very exciting day where we rely on a ground rodent to tell us how many more weeks of winter we have left. I personally cannot wait for Punxsutawney Phil to tell us. So, before we get into a little bit of that, a little history on the groundhog. Actually, no, not history, because nobody needs to know about that. All you need to know is that his weather forecast will be announced sometime today after sunrise. We're shooting for around 7:30, fingers crossed. But hey, who knows? The groundhog works at his own time. There's an annual event going on today, which is streaming live right now. Honestly, it's as simple as open up YouTube and look up Punxsutawney Phil live. You'll find it. But the annual event is held every year on February 2nd, and it's held by Phil's handlers, who is a member of a club with roots that travel all the way back to the late 19th century, reveal whether or not the groundhog has seen his shadow. So far, there's over 10,000 people in attendance today. Could y'all imagine traveling from all over the country to travel to, I believe, Staten Island, correct me if I'm wrong, just to see a groundhog tell you what the weather is going to look like. Do y'all believe him or not?
Punxsutawney is in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't believe you mistaked the groundhog.
Staten Island Chuck, Punxsutawney Phil.
I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I guess I should just, start relying on a groundhog to tell me.
Punxsutawney Phil is accurate. Staten Island Chuck is a fraud.
Agreed.
Thank you.
What if they say the same thing, though?
They don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I've never watched The Fraud, so. Pennsylvania for life, y'all.
Over winter break, I watched Groundhog Day for the first time, and it kind of made me really want to go to Punxsutawney and experience their festivities. And I really was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. but it's today, and obviously I'm not gonna go.
Well, I've just wanted to research how long, the groundhog's lifespan is, because I've been hearing about Groundhog Day since I was a wee little child, but apparently they only live up to about 6 years. So either they just pass on the title of Punxsutawney Phil, or somebody is lying. I think it's Phil.
I think he's just really, really old. Don't you know groundhogs can live forever, JT?
Maybe you're right, Gwen. Maybe I'm just being too hard on the groundhog. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe I think they belong in the ground or hiding under our shed for our dogs to scream at, like most other groundhogs. Like a normal groundhog. Why can't you be normal, Phil?
They're famous. Please.
Many forecasters say that they both aren't meteorologists, but what did,
I wonder where this legend came from. Honestly, I probably should have put the history in there, because now I'm curious. I just wonder who woke up one day, looked at a groundhog, saw it dip underneath the ground, and be like, you know what this means, lads? 4 more weeks of winter!
Well, when I came here today, it was pretty cloudy, so
I'm really hoping that we don't have more winter.
we need spring.
Spring, please come faster.
It's been cloudy for weeks. We haven't seen sun in a
We
hot
haven't
minute.
seen sun
But
in
just
a really
wait.
long time.
We will, though, but you'll find that out later.
Uh-oh. Our
Teaser.
weather. See? This is our
See?
groundhog. I'm calling you groundhog from now on. Congratulations, Ava. You've unlocked
Thank
a new
you.
nickname for yourself.
Thank you,
Groundhog.
thank you.
The rest of you. I mean, I have nicknames for some of you others, but you're going to have to stick around to find out those. Anyway, how are we feeling? Do we have any more groundhog discourse? I don't know what else we could talk about.
You know what I can talk about?
What can you
The
talk
fact
about?
that Milltown Mel he died a few years ago, and they have not resurrected him. They have not tried. Where is Milltown Mel?
I'm sorry, resurrected? What?
Making
Are groundhogs Jesus now? What is going on?
But okay, in the way that the groundhog passes on,
Is this a
and
groundhog
then a few months later, the groundhog seems to be alive again. That happens in many of the groundhogs. It happens with Punxsutawney Phil. But with Milltown Mel, apparently they couldn't find someone to replace him. And I'm not sure what the qualifications are for a groundhog to be able to tell the weather.
I thought this was Groundhog Day. Easter's not for a couple more months.
They need a meteorologist degree, actually. It
They're
takes a
they're
lot of
still
schooling.
training Mel. They're still training
Ava,
Mel.
when you
They're
go get your
training.
meteorologist degree? Come on, Groundhog.
Yeah, I should. I should go get that.
We're all rooting for you. In the meantime, we're not going to root for you right now because you still need to get your degree. We're going to root on somebody who
True.
has their degree and has had their degree for quite some time and is one of our beloved teachers and returning DJs, WC alumni, Tom Kaminsky. Tom Kaminsky, Jesus, Gwen, you're in my head right now. Tom Kaminsky, a helicopter traffic reporter for WCBS News Radio 880. And adjunct professor here at Montclair, and he's going to be discussing his thoughts on Groundhog Day. Let me try to see if I can find where that is.
I will say, there are a bunch of other groundhogs around the country that, I don't think we know about because we're on the East Coast. But let me tell you about some of them. There's Jimmy the Groundhog, which isn't very, that's not a very original name.
Groundhog
He's from
Jimmy.
Wisconsin. There's Buckeye Chuck. That's Ohio.
Of course it is.
General Beauregard Lee.
Oh, I like that one.
That's Georgia's.
Okay.
Chattanooga Chuck. Oh,
Oh, they're trying to...
what? Chuck seems to be a pretty.
Yeah, another Chuck. Interesting.
I wonder why. Dunkirk Dave.
What?
He kind of looks like actually, he's really cute. He kind of looks like a squirrel, though. Thistle the Whistle Pig.
There's a pig?
We love pigs.
Groundhog
The
Pig Day?
Whistle Pig. Maybe that's different.
Let's see if Tom has more to say on these various types of hogs, pigs, and otherwise. Phil, buddy, thank you so much for talking with... I don't know why I just called you Phil. Tom, thank you so much for talking with Nicole about groundhogs. Oh my God, I honestly, I could talk about them all day. You saw us go on and on and on and on and on about groundhogs for a minute. Speaking of groundhogs, the groundhog himself has a very special update while our lovely Nicole Passero frantically fidgets next to me to try and pull it up for you. So let's see what we got. The groundhog is now being showcased, carrying him in one arm like a basketball.
Yay.
As he passes him along, the groundhog looks terrified. No, did I say that? He looks happy. You can see his smiles all the way from here.
Gentlemen, gather round.
They all look like pilgrims.
Which groundhog are you watching?
Yeah, we are watching Punxsutawney Phil. Now, if I was a groundhog surrounded by a bunch of old white pilgrim-looking men, I would freak out and run back into the ground too.
Okay, we have a decision.
They have their decision. Oh, that poor groundhog.
Looks like the shadow to me.
A prediction has been made, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
I'm so nervous.
Hear ye, hear ye! Now on this February 2nd, Punxsutawney Phil, the seer of seers, prognosticator of all prognosticators, was awakened from his wintry nap at dawn on Gobbler's Knob. Phil looked to the skies and then, speaking in groundhogese, directed the president to the proper scroll, which reads, "Another winter's slumbered pause so I could meet the crowd. Hard to sleep anyway when the party's this loud. I envy your energy. I envy the fun. I envy all of you and your opposable thumbs. But it's not what I feel, it's what I see and what you hear, so gather round and let me be clear. Atmosphere is a wonderful thing, and we can create our own and the weather it brings. It brings hope for the future and so much more. Maybe some Punxsutawney Phil write-in votes in 2024.
Corny.
But what this weather did not provide is a shadow or reason to hide. Glad tidings on this Groundhog Day. An early spring is on the way.
Yay! Everybody.
Spring, hear ye, hear ye.
That like sends shivers down my back. Oh my gosh.
Art right there. Slam
Phil
poetry.
is that groundhog. Let's
Secret
go.
is that
Pal,
guy.
trust me, you're not that guy.
That's my message. Whatever that. Oh,
Hear ye.
Jesus Christ. I feel like I ended up on the wrong side of TikTok slam poetry. But
You mean
yes.
the right side.
Yes, apparently. I hope they put that poor groundhog back to bed. He looked like he deserved it. Man, but apparently we're getting an early spring.
Yay.
Let's go.
Huh?
We love spring.
According to Phil, we're
The
getting
only
an
one
early
that
spring.
matters.
The only one. But if he's wrong, Ava, you are now officially our new groundhog. So I hope you get your napping shoes on.
Congratulations. Hear ye, hear ye.
Thank you. Thank you. Big shoes to fill.
I need to Google Gobbler's Knob because that. Oh man.
Is there? Oh no.
What were you gonna say?
Is there still nothing from Chuck? Not yet. Aww.
See? Chuck the phony.
He's embarrassed. Chuck the phony. Groundhog
Well,
phone.
if
He
I
saw
was-
his shadow and he's like, oh man.
I have a lot to live up to.
Well, if I was from Staten Island, I'd also have reason to be embarrassed.
You know what I don't get? I don't get that if he doesn't see his shadow, early spring is coming. Because if you see your shadow, doesn't that assume that the sun is out?
Yeah. It doesn't.
There
not
is
really
no
a
sun.
Right. So you would think no sun equals no spring.
Honestly, there's just so much to unpack and like dive into because of this, and it's kind of making my little brain hurt. So I'm going to give myself an excuse to stop thinking for once. So happy Groundhog Day, everybody. I'll be back with more complaints about pilgrims and groundhogs. Well, apparently we're coming right back because guess who else has an update for you? Chuck. Chuck has an update for you, and this time he comes from the horrible, forgotten borough that is Staten Island. So let's see if what he says has any relevance to it whatsoever. This is brought to you by our other Staten Island groundhog, Nicole Becerra. I can't see. Are they also in pilgrim fits? The pilgrim chic. No, there is no pilgrim, but there is a very terrifying man dressed in a groundhog costume from what I can only assume is Party City. People are dressed like Nicole. Okay, I'm starting to see where she gets her fashion. Hang on. Shh.
I am so excited about seeing Staten Island Chuck. So let's see what he's going to say.
Everybody is just so anxious about Chuck.
Yeah, go right ahead.
You see how they suck the life out of it? It's all dull and sad.
Okay, they don't have the budget in Staten Island. Look at that stage. I just feel like Fall Out Boy's gonna pop up behind that curtain.
Ma'am.
All right, everybody, get ready for our annual countdown. 10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
Oh my god, it's like a Sesame Street set.
Can we bring those back to the VIP?
To help my viewers, not my viewers, my listeners up, it seems to be a Facebook Live. Whoever is filming this is not doing a very great job, but it's mainly for the kids, and they're trying to chant the groundhog out, and he's probably in there counting his days. You know when your alarm wakes up in the morning and you're like, is an education really worth it? Is a job really worth it? That's what I think the groundhog is doing in there right now. He hears everything, it just doesn't care.
Poor Chuck.
Well, according to Chuck, it's also spring. But I never saw Chuck, so either the photographer is doing a very bad job or they just spoke for Chuck. But I think Phil spoke for everybody. And I hope Phil is right. Otherwise, it's going to be me and you, Phil. We have Ava Scott here ready to take your place, and Ava Scott's doing a phenomenal job. So
Thank you.
I don't know, man. Like, Ava could do your job, but could you do Ava's job? I don't think so.
Very true. Thank you for that, JT.
Of course, man. Yeah, get your fur ready because you might have to replace it. I hope you're ready to sleep in the dirt.
I don't think anybody can really prepare for that, but I gotta find a way.
I don't know, man. I don't know. How do we feel about that, y'all? What do we feel the same way about Chuck as we do Phil?
Absolutely not.
No. You know, I think I didn't have a full opinion before this, but then seeing both of their events, Punxsutawney clears, okay? Like,
when you guys said Staten Island Chuck, I thought it was like some crazy Staten Island man we were interviewing. Like some man who's like popular for like being silly on the street. That's really what I thought it was.
Staten Island Chuck.
Doesn't it sound like it?
It does. Gives that vibe.
Like Jersey Joe.
Staten Island Chuck. Jersey Joe?
That's the new groundhog for Jersey.
That's what it should be.
Jersey
Sanctioned
Joe.
by our own.
Listen, again, maybe the groundhog can take Jersey Joe's job, you know? Maybe he'll have a lot better career dancing. Yeah. I would kill to see a dancing groundhog.
Yeah. For sure.
That would be funny. Are we all happy with their predictions?
I am happy.
I'm ecstatic.
I'm just waiting to see if it's accurate, because if it's not accurate, I'm throwing hands as a groundhog, y'all. I'm done with this. I'm done with this winter. I'm done with going outside like when the cold feels like an assault on my skin. I wasn't made for this. Earl, I know you feel me, bro. We weren't made for this, dog. I'm ready to throw hands as a groundhog if he's lying to me, dog, because this is too much. We need like, I'm done with this 30-degree. How we feeling?
Fact, it's too cold out here. I just want to wear shorts out again.
Man, I don't even wear shorts, dog, but I swear, like, the first shorts weather day, I might wear them just to celebrate, because this is too much. This is too much, dog. Way too much. Well, y'all, happy Groundhog Day. That was the Chronicles of Punxsutawney Phil and Staten Island Chuck. May both groundhogs be at peace sooner rather than later. What else we got today?
At peace. Oh my gosh. You know, the last time that Punxsutawney Phil predicted spring, it was 2020. So it's been 4 years.
Wow.
Ooh.
You know how that went.
Wow.
Well,
Thanks, Phil.
in honor of,
Goodness.
in honor of that going on, I think it's time to celebrate. So once again, this time I actually mean it. We will. Hang on, y'all talk for a second.
Did Punxsutawney Phil predict the COVID pandemic?
Even more of a reason for me to throw house hands with the groundhog. Oh, I spoke too soon on a celebration, but I already prepared it. I already set it up. So we go pretend like the last 5 seconds never happened. But when we come back, we gonna talk about that groundhog. All right, we'll be right back. Everybody, springtime is coming, and I think that was more of a reason he played that almost 5-minute song. My bad, I had no idea that song was that long. Pretending that I had the Zoom unmuted. It's springtime again, so that was my reason of playing Celebration by Kool and the Gang. But now, unfortunately, we have to step away from the groundhogs and step right back in to our news, because we gotta there's, not everything's about groundhogs, not everything's about y'all, grow up, stop being narcissist. We're talking about child tax credit next, because who doesn't love talking about that? Instead of groundhogs, all of a sudden, I miss Punxsutawney Phil. Anyway, the child's tax credit is a step closer to getting a boost, but it's not exactly the kind of expansion many family members remember or counted on during the COVID-19 2020 pandemic. Now, while proposed changes will make more credit available to lower-income families, these monthly payments that families have gotten used to during COVID, they're not part of a $78 billion tax plan that was passed in the House of Representatives this late past Wednesday night. Instead, child tax credit would require taxpayers to wait until they file their tax return to claim the benefit, as they do under the current law. The package, which also temporarily restores several business tax benefits, still have to be passed in the Senate before it can go to the current sitting president, Joe Biden, for his signature. That was a switch up going from groundhogs to that. Honestly, y'all, I don't really know how much we could say. Tax is still something new to some of us in this room. By the way, y'all, it's tax season. Tax is still something new to us, let alone child taxes. None of y'all got children, do you?
No.
Not
Okay.
that I know.
Okay. Not that I know of. It's crazy, but okay. But yeah, honestly, Gwen, could you decipher that better than I can? I kind of pray you can.
Yeah, so something with this proposed tax credit is it seems like a very good step towards families getting better relief, but unfortunately it's not in the way what you were saying before, JT, that it's instead of being monthly like it was during the pandemic, it's now something that's happening during, like, it's their tax return, which it's good and bad in that they're getting more money now, but a monthly payment can be something that people rely on, which can be very unfortunate to some. And I was looking on NJ.com, and they said that the child credit expansion helped more than 61 million children, lifting nearly 4 million out of poverty. So, of course, this is a very good bill. This is very... it's very helpful, but unfortunately the non-monthly payments might be something that is unhelpful to some.
Honestly, yeah. So let's hope that, in terms of child tax, let's hope that gets taken care of. In more state changes, what else we got, Gwen?
So a new bill is being advanced in the New Jersey legislature, which would allow digital licenses to be used in place of physical ID cards at airports, traffic stops, and more. If signed into law, the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission would have up to 6 years to develop the digital license technology before rolling it out to the public. For now, that deadline is years ahead of the Real ID deadline for New Jersey drivers, which is currently set at May 7th, 2025. And this would also make New Jersey the 12th state to offer a digital license for drivers, joining so many others like Arizona, Colorado, Delaware, Georgia, Florida, Iowa, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, Missouri, and Utah. In fact, digital state licenses are accepted at many major international transit hubs like JFK and LaGuardia Airport, but not yet at Newark. And the American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators argues that mobile licenses are safer than physical cards, saying that they can easily be lost or stolen, become broken or damaged, contain outdated information, offer too much information, and can be more easily replicated by counterfeiters.
People in the fakes business are about to start shaking in their boots. Y'all were talking about, I know before we were looking at the story, we were thinking that's crazy. I do know that some other states do have that because, there is a feature on your iPhone to add a digital wallet to like your like Apple Wallet. And I was about to do that because I thought that would be groovy, but apparently it only counts in certain states. If I'm remembering, I'm not even going to try to remember because I don't want to say the wrong thing, but when I saw the list, there was like, it gave me like 3 states that offered it. So already 3 states, but they were all like southern states too. I believe like they were like in the Texas, Colorado area. I may be wrong.
There's about 11 states that
really
offer it, yeah.
Then there's crazy. A lot more than I was seeing, so I don't know. But New Jersey, 11 states, New Jersey's finally catching up.
Yeah, hopefully they do end up passing something like this, simply because being able to have it on your phone will eliminate any problem of ever forgetting it, not having it. I mean, that's the beauty of being able to have a device that you carry on you that can do basically anything. I mean, I have my debit card on my phone, which makes life so much easier. So I can only imagine what it would be like to also have your license on your phone too.
Yeah. I personally, I've gotten so much into the habit of always having my wallet on me. But I definitely know so many other people. My brother, for one, he loses his wallet every other business day. So you'll never lose his phone. So you'll always have it there. Yeah, they also brought up the fact that it's eliminating counterfeits, which sounds amazing for us adults, but maybe for your average college kid, not so much. Not sponsored, by the way. Anyway, there's honestly not too much I'm going to say on that, and I'm going to shut up before I get myself in trouble. So we're going to go to Shannon. We've got giveaways, Miss Promotion Director, don't we?
Of course we do. And of course, you need an ID to get into all these concerts anyway. But good morning, Montclair State. My name is Shannon Daly, and welcome to Finding Friday, where we find the most recent giveaways, music, and concert announcements. For their second time with WMSC this year, Sammy Ray and the Friends are back at the Wellmont Theater on this Friday, February 9th, on their camp tour. The show will start at 8 p.m., and as always, you can find more information about this show and our upcoming shows, including Indigo D'Souza, on our website at WMSCradio.com. In our lineup of new concerts this week, British indie rock girl band The Last Dinner Party announced a new spring tour, including dates in New York's Webster Hall on March 26th. Beach Fossils, in addition, announced a spring tour alongside their new album Bunny, but the fans were disappointed at the lack of East Coast shows. But luckily, to make up for other upset fans, Hozier announced 14 new tour dates, including a 4th and final show at Forest Hill Stadium, and to the pleasure of Philadelphia fans, a show finally in Camden at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. In local shows, the Pedaltones are playing at Prototype in Patterson with bands No Bones and Valentina. More information can be found on the Pedaltones Instagram. Prototype is also hosting fan favorites The Never Ends and Aiden Jack Finnessy on Saturday, February 10th at 8 p.m.
Yo, that's crazy. Prototype has everybody.
Local band Eyelid is also playing with Possum in My Room, a band featured on Unplugged last semester at the Seven Crest in Teaneck, and the show starts at 7 p.m. Lastly, Golder, another band featured last year on Unplugged, will be making their return tonight at Trans Pecos in NYC at 7 p.m. In music news, making their return, but most in the unexpected way, is Paramore with the new first single of the Talking Heads tribute album, Stop Making Sense. The track list, which was released on Wednesday, will include some heavy hitters such as Miley Cyrus, Lorde, The National, Girl in Red, Kevin Abstract, and more. In some more new music, Billy Joel's new song, Turn the Lights Back On, finally dropped Thursday morning after a highly anticipated release, one of the longest musical droughts in music history. Conan Gray also announced an album on Wednesday, Found Heaven, releasing April 5th. Someone who is certainly not going through a drought, Lana Del Rey, also announced her new album, Lasso, is in the works, set to drop in September. She stated in a statement that she is going country. The music business is going country. You can tell by our award winners and our performers. The album will be produced by Jack Antonoff, probably his first real country production, and some people have been saying this will show how Taylor's version debut is going to be produced. Good thing or a bad thing, who knows? And this is partially true. 7 out of 40 of the top 40 Billboard tracks today, in January, were country. So what do we think of new artists tapping into country?
Oh, I don't know about it. Lana Del Rey,
I said this to Chris yesterday, but Lana Del Rey's lyrics are made for country. I feel she could do it very well. If any pop artist can do it, I trust her. But
that's true. I do agree with you.
I do not trust Jack Antonoff, pop star legend, producer legend, to produce a country album.
I've always seen Lana Del Rey as an indie-based artist anyway, and to me, indie is just Gwen, do not kill me for this phrase I'm about to say.
Oh, gosh.
But it's always given me girly country. Like, early Taylor Swift could either go country, it could go indie. Those are just the vibes they give me.
JT, I'm afraid you have never heard indie music before.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold statement.
Before I started making a JT-style playlist for the Morning Buzz, mornings were indie here. And I think one day, it was a vibe. I'll definitely say it's a vibe. There's a mood you have to be in. I think there needs to be a certain vibe in your soul that's just not in JT. So that's when I started editing the playlist. But that's what songs like You Belong With Me, Tim McGraw, and those are the only two I know from that era.
You think that gives indie?
A little bit.
Do you think Tim McGraw gives indie?
That's a very
JT,
strong
that's crazy.
statement. I think you
really
have to re-listen.
Was it an indie country debut when it came out? Sort of. I mean, actually. She was sort of in the pop country hidden Nashville, Tennessee era for a while until she skyrocketed in publicity.
Oh yeah, once her fame skyrocketed, there was nothing country, indie, anything. It was just straight girly pop. I'm talking in her early days, the days that people will gripe about ugh, bring me back to that Taylor Swift, long curly acoustic guitar Taylor Swift days. Yeah,
it's hard to imagine in the area we live in specifically that country artists are tackling the Billboard charts, but we have to remember there is an entire country that is listening to country music almost as much as pop music, actually. Pop music and country music almost share the amount of listeners in total listeners streaming. And we see that with Noah Kahan. Some people say that he's more folk than indie, but we also see that with artists such as Luke Combs, and Morgan Wallen, that we see a lot of publicity about. And it's kind of hard for us to think about when it's not so much popular in our area. But it is extremely popular in a lot of other areas in the United States.
Lana's very smart with what she's doing, I will say.
I do think it's an interesting business move, definitely.
It's also crazy to think about because even, I hate to do it, but bringing it back to Taylor Swift, she left country to get with the more pop-in genre, and it's just crazy to see that times have changed so much that now people are doing the opposite, trying to tap into country because that's what's popular. I don't know. It's giving I'm not like other girls, and now everybody's like other girls. And
okay, but I will say Lana Del Rey, she's a little crazy. So I wouldn't say that maybe this is something that has been happening with other artists. I'm not entirely sure, but Lana going into country is actually, now that I think about it, totally makes sense because I think she would choose to do anything just for the bit.
She did work in a Waffle House. You know, her album is called Chemtrails Over the Country Club. It all is starting to make sense. This is her ultimate dream, I think.
Well,
this is the American dream.
This is the American dream. Do y'all be listening to country like that? Be honest.
In the summer, honestly, I will say when I'm driving to the beach, I do like some country. But like fun party country. Not sad boy hours country.
It's because you're from South Jersey.
Okay. Right.
Whoa.
I mean, it's fun at the beach, you know, because all their songs are about sitting in trucks at the beach. So it's fitting. I don't know.
You look like you would drive a pickup truck.
Actually, that sounds really fun. Like a small blonde girl in a huge pickup truck. People would be like, "What is she doing?" It's the intrigue. She doesn't need all that.
No. Ava, how about you? You be listening to country?
Not really. I mean, I've dabbled in it a little bit, but it's not necessarily my music taste that I would go for.
Yeah, I'm like a folk fan, I will say, but I think
country
that's
adjacent.
It is country adjacent. I'm not a super big country hater, but I'm a folk fan.
One thing I'll say about like true country fans, I used to say this about shout out former station manager because they always have a knack. If you say I hate country, they'll ask you what you do listen to, and then you'll give them what you listen to, and they'll play a song that they know you'll like, because that was done to me, and now I have a very small country playlist. It allowed me to make a Name That Tune themed off of country. Last semester, I might bring that same playlist back because we have a whole entire new cast. So I might bring that playlist back to see just how good you do. So I'm gonna stop yapping right quick. And yeah, there was no other time for that. I'm gonna just stop yapping. When we come back, we're gonna have more news again because Christ, the entire hour has just flown by over our heads. So yeah, sit tight, relax, and don't go anywhere. 90.3, The Morning Buzz. Later. Anyway, we're talking about Taylor Swift. You already know. Anyway, as AI is enhanced by today, yep, that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about the Taylor Swift deepfakes. Some fake, super explicit images of the one and only Taylor Swift went viral, and social media fans were shocked. I don't know why they were shocked. I was expecting somebody to do something crazy like that, but nonetheless, it happened. Now, legal experts are saying this is a growing problem and will continue to worsen if a law isn't set in the tech industry. These images, once again, they are called deepfakes. Deepfakes are computer-generated AI depictions of real people doing fake things. Now, Swifties were outraged by this, and they demanded a removal. Not only Swifties, pretty much anybody with a lick of common sense all banded together and were like, this is wild. Now, another crazy name, Woodrow Hartzog, a professor at Boston University School of Law who studies privacy and technology law, said this is just the highest profile instance of something that has been victimizing many people, mostly women, for quite some time now, end quote. Experts have warned Billboard that this is only the beginning, and the Swift incidents could happen to other artists and celebrities as well as regular people in their everyday lives. But here's the thing, Billboard, it's been happening to everybody. It's been happening all around. Now, I'm mixed feelings about this. When I said I expect this to happen soon, I said it because, again, it's been happening to so many people. And I really do believe that it's a matter of because it happened to Taylor Swift, that is the reason why it's gained this much traction and outrage, and now the conversation of we need to make a law about this.
I mean, that kind of also happened with the whole Ticketmaster thing. I mean, that's been a problem for a long time. But her fans were able, because they were fighting for that, they really brought it to the attention of the public eye.
Now, in terms of the opinions on whether or not I think that matters, now, for disclaimers, so the Swifties don't try to dox me, which go ahead if you want, you can go find none. I do not blame Taylor Swift for the public's idiotic, asinine way of going about things. I don't blame her for what's going on with the NFL. I don't blame her for all of a sudden people deciding to make a legal stance about something that should have long happened. I don't blame Taylor Swift. I blame celebrity culture. I blame people. That is right. A classic JT quote. People are stupid. They don't care if it happens to anybody else. They don't care if it happens to you. Some of them probably did create deepfakes. But when it happens to Taylor Swift, that is when the outrage comes. And that is not in any way Taylor Swift's fault, but it is actually, it doesn't even have to be the fault of somebody. Long story short, that needs to change really fast, because sooner or later it's going to happen to somebody that they care more about than Taylor Swift. I'm sure y'all can't imagine a single person right now, but eventually there's going to be somebody. So either way, this needs to stop right in here and right now. So at the very least, Swifties are using their stardom and their crazy fandom energy towards something productive, like putting a law into place that should already be there.
Very true. Very, very true.
It is true, and the fact that we're seeing so much discourse about this now is really interesting, considering we've been seeing this for the past 3 years. This has been a problem, like an ongoing problem, and I think it's interesting that the second it happens to Taylor, then people start paying attention again. A lot of people just figured, I mean, with AI, it needs to be regulated. AI is so important that it needs to be regulated, and because of the super quick accessibility of programs like this, it's extremely hard to regulate it. That's why bills are going into place and stuff like that. But I think every generation or every few decades needs, or it just turns out to be someone who is the most popular celebrity. And it just happens to turn out that Taylor Swift is that person. So of course, because of all the things happening with her, mega $1 million tour, and because of the Super Bowl, she's in the spotlight already. So it's just another showcase of people spotlighting on an issue. And then people also being upset that people are only focusing on it being an issue for her and not for other people, which it has been an issue for her for many people, many celebrities, since 2020, maybe.
I also doubt this is the first instance. It's probably because Taylor Swift has a weird knack, and again, not her fault. I just need to say it. She has a weird knack of popping in and out of the spotlight and doing nothing. Like she's been releasing music. It's not even just when she releases a new album, but it's just like, the Taylor Swift type will die down. We'll forget about it, and then all of a sudden we'll wake up one day and just everybody is Taylor Swift all over again. And I think because she's in that mode right now, and it just so happened to be that that's when the deepfake incidents happened. Like, I feel like if this happened like about 2 years ago, might not have gained as much traction. But when she hit her random spike of popularity again, now of course everything is all about Taylor Swift again. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's upsetting, these deepfakes, because there really is nothing you can do at this moment to control them. You can say that you want them all taken down, but realistically that is impossible on the internet. People have copies everywhere. People have screenshots everywhere. It's going to stay up there for the rest of time, probably. So it's just that these programs, in my opinion, just need to be stopped. Like, just completely. It's completely not fair to the artists who create artwork and have it stolen by AI to just create something similar, though without the time and effort put into it. It's insane, and it's only going to get worse, which is even more terrifying.
Ay, caramba, it's definitely something. I'll say that. This is crazy. I don't even know how much we can go about that, so I'm gonna give your ears a little break for Taylor Swift, and when we come back, we're gonna be talking about Megamind. A lot more easier on the ears. You are tuned into the Morning Buzz, and I hope you enjoyed Weird Al, because I have some news that, well, hang on. I don't have news. Gwen has news for you. Gwen, tell us the news.
So the new animated Megamind film and television series is set to stream on Peacock starting March 1st. The film, which is titled Megamind vs. the Doom Syndicate, will be about the title character transforming from a supervillain to superhero. It will pick up moments after the plot of the 2010 movie. But Keith Ferguson will now be playing Megamind in the new project, as opposed to Will Ferrell, who was the original voice of Megamind. Some of the voice cast include Adam Lambert, Chris Sullivan, Tony Hale, and more. The streaming service said in a press release, Megamind's former villain team, the Doom Syndicate, has returned. Our newly crowned blue hero must now keep up evil appearances until he can assemble his friends, Roxanne, Old Chum, and Keiko, to stop his former evil teammates from launching Metro City to the moon.
First of all, spoiler alert, he had no team. Megamind was a loner. It is canon. It was him and Minion. That's first of all. Second of all, the only other person that he met, if it's going to pick up at the end, the only other person he met is Roxanne. Who is Old Chum? Who is Keiko?
I'm looking it up right now.
Can I ask, who cares about this movie? Who asked for this movie? Who?
Who asked for any movie?
Nobody is asking for this movie. You know what this is? This is an instance of streaming services losing revenue and going the safe route of taking IP that everyone already knows. And it's so frustrating.
Film bro Shannon's about to come out of her little chrysalis, and it's about.
You know what? This is streaming on Peacock. Peacock lost $978 million in 2022.
Really?
Streaming services are not making any money. They are losing so much money. So they're producing cheap content. And this is a high example of a streaming service producing something as a sequel because they don't have the money to pay new writers.
Yep. Mic dropped, Shannon. Thank you. Yeah.
Streaming services are doing very low blows to its people.
Is this movie even releasing in theaters?
Probably not.
Just on Peacock.
Exactly. Because no one cares. You have something to say, Earl?
Well, I never heard of Peacock until a couple months ago. That's the only gripe. If it was on HBO Max, that'll be better. But it's not gonna be in theaters.
Peacock got some bangers. Strays on Peacock is a banger. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, streaming services are losing money for one. Streaming services were supposed to replace cable because it had everything. They did everything that cable did. They didn't do everything that cable did that pissed people off. They didn't have ads and no ads, and there's something. Oh yeah, it was cheaper. It was basically cheaper than paying $300+ for a bunch of content that you don't use, and it was the cheaper and better alternative. And now that so many people are switching over, they're upping their prices, they're limiting their content, and then sometimes you have to pay $10 for the ad version.
Yep.
And then you have to pay $20 for the ad-free version. It only has limited content. So basically, in order to have access to what you really want to watch, you pretty much have to subscribe to all of them. You would have to subscribe to Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, all the other pluses. You have to subscribe to all of them. If you don't want ads, you got to buy the ad-free version to all of them. So that's $15 a pop each of them. You can eventually you're going to end up asking yourself, I might as well have cable.
That's exactly.
Cable again. And it is going to continue to be that way because advertisements raise money for TV. That's how it's always been. And if you don't have advertisements in TV, how are you making money? You don't. Because you're paying a simple cost at the beginning of each month. So there's no way for them to, have gains. And capitalism is all about gains. So if they have no gains, they're going to lose money because of all the shows they're producing. And that's just how TV has always worked. Yep. And it is just so frustrating to see so many amazing movies like Megamind, because Megamind is super funny, very funny, going to have its reputation ruined because of a horrible sequel, as we've seen so many things happen in the last 5 years, because all they care about is the safe route, like I said. And it's just, they're all bad. I don't
know if the reputation is going to be where. I mean, think about some Disney movies that you don't know had sequels. If the Disney sequel is bad, we just didn't know it had one. How many people knew there's a Mulan 2? How many people know there's a Beauty and the Beast 2? Nobody knows it exists because it's bad.
Then again, so those movies were released straight to DVD, so they didn't have a release that was advertised. These are going to be advertised just as much because it's easier to advertise anything on streaming. because everyone can have access to it. Or just pirate it, like most people have begun to do.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably still gonna watch it, out of pure curiosity.
You gonna watch the movie and the TV show?
I don't know about the TV show.
You're gonna binge Megamind.
Maybe. Out of pure curiosity, plus I've watched everything else I want to watch. I'm not a fan of a lot of things that pop up on streaming. I've been like rewatching old stuff, so one day I might feel bad for the hate that it's about to get, and it hasn't even came out. So I might be like, you know what? Let me give it a chance, inevitably, and it'll still be just as bad as everybody predicted. But I'll satisfy myself by giving it a chance, and I'll come back here and see if if the film bro and JT jumps out or not. In the meantime, speaking of sequels, that is a wild segue, by the way. But I'm going to read it verbatim that Nicole had for me, and I don't think she thought it out. But anyway, speaking of sequels, Billy Joel has officially come back with more.
I mean,
Comeback.
it's a comeback.
How long has it been? I think it was like 19 years.
20 years, 2 decades.
Something, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Billy Joel 2, back from the. Never mind.
Billy Joel too.
So he's about to release his first new song in 17 years. You heard that right.
Yep.
Billy Joel is back. The iconic Long Island singer-songwriter has released a new song titled Turn the Lights Back On. Accurate title. The song was produced by Freddie Wexler and co-written by Joel Wexler, Arthur Bacon, now that's a name, and Wayne Hector. Why are all these names fire? Jesus. Anyway, this song marks Billy Joel's first new music since the twin 2007 songs All My Life and Christmas in Fallujah. Anyway, he opens up the new song by acknowledging that it's been a while since his last release. Joel will be performing at the 2024 Grammy Awards coming up this Sunday, February 4th. I am so excited. This might be the first Billy Joel song I've listened to.
I'm excited for it, and I think it's a good move for his team for having him perform at the Grammys. He just released a new song. Grammys are in a few days. I have a feeling that this song is going to be performed at the Grammys, so little take of how I feel about it. But good move for his team.
The Grammys you're talking about?
Yeah. Yep.
Me and my homies hate the Grammys.
You hate the Grammys?
I haven't heard anything about the Grammys. Only Oscar stuff. Yeah. Like, there's been no discourse about the Grammys.
The Grammys are going to be the first to go. Me and my homies just hate award shows in general. They all scam.
I love the Grammys.
I love the Grammys.
I love the
I'm
Grammys.
excited.
I have never trusted the Grammys. It's like they have the same format. They will say, this is the best song of the year. And, like, they'll name and nominate a couple of songs that genuinely are pretty good. And they'll nominate, like, one song just for the bit, just for gigs. And then you'll think, oh, yeah, that's just a nomination. There's no way that could possibly stand in time against all of them. And guess which one's going to win? The one for gigs. Why? Because ratings. That is why I have always despised the Grammys.
Do you think Lana Del Rey is going to win, JT?
The mere fact that you think she will because she deserves it is exactly why she won't.
I hope the record wins. Personally.
Boy Genius.
Boy Genius, out of all these people, well,
what are they nominated
SZA's
for?
album is really good. Record
bunch.
of the year.
Record of the year?
Their
There's a
album of
lot.
the year. Sorry. Yeah,
They're also
so-
nominated for Record of the Year.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
I might be a little
I hope
biased.
the record is nominated for album.
I might be a little biased because, like, obviously my main genre is hip hop, and the Grammys have a notoriously evil relationship with that genre. I mean, Earl, you probably know what I'm talking about. They have had every like notorious evil snub has been against hip hop. When they, I think the last year I even cared anything about the Grammys was when they had Best Album of the Year. And to translate this into popular terms, they did the equivalent of nominating Mariah Carey, Billy Joel, give me like another like really good popular artist, random. Michael Jackson, and Dixie D'Amelio. They did the equivalent of that, and then giving it to Dixie D'Amelio.
Was that like 2017 or?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know. That was tragic.
That was pretty much exactly what they did. And ever since then, I was like, oh, well, that's it. That is the last time I watched or ever paid the Grammys any mind whatsoever.
Metro Boomin is up for Producer of the Year.
Yeah, he is.
I hope he gets it.
And the
Metro
mere
Boomin
fact that
needs some recognition.
Oh man. Well, we will be right here telling y'all what happened, and I'll pretend like I love it because I gotta give y'all the updates. But man, let me make it very clear. I will not be happy.
The thing that kind of makes me mad about the Grammys is the fact with the new artists nominees. Like, these people, I'm sorry, like, this kind of, like, boils, like, my blood. Like, they are not new. Like, they have been in the game for a while. It's just that their music has been popular for the year. Like, to label them as new artists, I feel like is such, like, a low blow in a sense because they're not new. Like, they've been in the game for a long time.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they've, like, been, like, pushing it out. Like, what's crazy, is Renee Rapp nominated for?
No.
She's not even. No, she's not nominated.
Noah Kahan, Gracie Abrams, Ice Spice.
I feel like she'll be nominated next year. And here's why. And one of those crazy. I do remember last year, and the only reason I noticed is because Twitter, back when like it was still low key alright last year, Renee Rapp had an opinion about it was a certain award, and I think it came down to Harry Styles and Beyonce, and Harry Styles took it.
Crazy.
Yeah, Renee Rapp was like,
day.
I want Beyonce to win, and like everybody lit her comments up was like, who are you? Like nobody knows who you are, and I was like,
yeah,
this is Renee Rapp. Give her like 2 months.
Yeah, and look at her.
And now she's big. I think they probably already had their nominees by the time that happened, but give it like next year. I'm like willing to put money. She will be nominated for Best New Artist, and I'm gonna find that the funniest irony ever.
Yeah.
I think honestly, Renee Rapp at this point has been around for too long.
She has been. She's been bopping since 2019.
They wouldn't feel right.
But only
calling them new artists.
They'll put her under that. Did you see some of these nominees for new artists? Coco Jones, new artist. Girl has been in the game since when was her Let It Shine? What year was that?
I believe that was 09.
I think Noah Khan's probably gonna take it. I don't think
Victoria Monet is on here.
She's been in the game too.
That title.
The Warren Treaty.
That'd be crazy.
They've been around for a minute.
That would be crazy if Ice Spice won.
You also have to think the
That
person.
would be crazy.
Okay.
I hope Ice.
We do
Ice
not
would be.
condone gambling here, but if you do want to place any wager,
What?
think about the
Hold on.
person.
What do you say?
Think about the person that you think is not going to win at all. Like, look
Right
at all the
again?
nominees and then say to yourself, okay, this person is definitely not winning. It is reasonable, given the Grammys track record, that is who is taking that award.
That is true.
So everybody's
Didn't
here like, yeah,
someone-
they're not giving it to Ice Spice. Ice Spice is taking that award.
I don't know if the Academy is, they're very particular with the people they nominate. Ice Spice, do they want her? And also, there's also that curse, the new artist curse, where if someone is nominated as new artist of the year, they like dwindle in popularity for the next few years coming to almost like nothing. I wonder if that will happen.
I hope not. I feel like no, because Ice is coming out with her debut album. There's no way she's going to dwindle in popularity.
You think you the beep? That song's crazy. It's just
like
a crazy
Ice Spice. I don't like it. I feel like
She's just funny. Like,
I feel like she popped off for the bit, and she just stayed there for the bit.
but
Yeah,
it's
well,
funny. It's catchy.
I'm so excited to see these nominees now that we're talking about it. I love the Grammys. They're so funny because people get so angry, even more than movies.
Yeah.
People love their faves.
They do.
Love them.
They love their music.
I don't
mess
know
with
enough
people and their
about
music.
movies to like have much opinions on the Oscars. Especially this year. I think this year I was looking at the nominees. I was like, I don't recognize 80% of these names.
Really?
Yeah.
For who?
The Oscars.
Wow.
I think in terms like the only like movies and names like obviously like the big ones that nobody would like shut up about, like Barbie, the fact that like people were yapping about that for 4 months. Obviously I'm gonna recognize Greta Gerwig. I actually have not heard that name until Barbie. And
Really?
Yeah, and people always say,
She's
really?
Not
And
my
I'm
favorite
like,
director since 2017.
but
since
I don't movie
Lady
buff
Bird.
enough. And that's crazy as a film and TV major that I don't movie buff enough like that. But yeah, it's like people are like, you've never seen or heard of Lady Bird? I'm like, I can give you a list of movies I should have watched by now that I just have not.
Tisk. I will say, JT, it like the list of all of the movies that were nominated for the Oscars. If you even were to walk into a movie theater, you would have seen all of them listed. So it's actually pretty impressive that you've missed them all.
And it's actually it really is crazy because from where I'm from, there's one of three things to do in town. It's go to Applebee's, go to Olive Garden, or go to the movies. So it kind of really is crazy.
South Jersey core.
Yeah, very much.
Oh man.
But back to Billy Joel.
Yeah.
We kind of went on a little tangent there,
We
but
did go on a little tangent. Back to Billy Joel.
Can't wait to see him perform at the Grammys. On
on
Sunday.
Somebody else that I don't know too much about that I should. So, matter of fact, I'm going to introduce myself to Billy Joel for the first time in 2024. But for my listeners back at home who know and love Billy Joel, here's Turn the Lights On. I must say, that was kind of a boppery. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of gently shocked. A little shocked.
Yes. A boppery?
Don't come at my words. It's 8:51 in the morning.
All right.
But yes, how do we feel about that?
I think it sounds pretty classic Billy Joel. I love him. I think Stranger, I think that's what the album title is. But that's one of my favorites. That's crazy that I say it's one of my favorites. I don't even know. But I do have it on vinyl. So I do love Billy Joel. I grew up listening to his music. He has a house in Long Beach Island, which is pretty cool.
The album is The Stranger.
The Stranger. Perfect. Thank you.
You are the stranger.
I am, yes. True. Yeah, I mean, it sounds typical, what he would make.
Classic
Pretty,
Billy Joel.
Typical chord progression of his. Piano, some orchestral backing tracks.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Billy Joel.
Would I put on my playlist? Probably not.
I would put this on my night-night playlist to go to sleep to. Yes, I have one.
What do you think, Earl?
It was alright. It definitely won't be on my playlist, but it's good to listen to Billy Joel again.
Yeah.
Nice little vibe.
Yes.
I see it being some Utah couple's first dance song at their wedding.
Very specific.
Either that or Wisconsin. I don't even know what we could talk about more with Billy Joel. But that is a creative way to get into the Magic Kingdom. That was awful. But anyway. So a man used the Walt Disney World ticket from the 1970s to enter Magic Kingdom. A video was posted to TikTok with nearly 9 million views. The founder, Matthew Abels, said he found a ticket book from 1978 that had been collecting dust all of this time. According to Abels, the pass was worth $8 in the 1970s and has never been used and didn't have an expiration date, which is wild. When he arrived at Disney Park, a cast member gave him a yellow pass that granted him access to the park for that day. He couldn't believe it actually worked.
That was I actually saw this video pop up on my TikTok, and I was like, wow. The family ordered a bunch of tickets back in the 40s or something, so like the 1940s, and the fact that there is no expiration date, that's crazy. Couldn't be now though. Expiration dates always.
They charge you what? Half a fortune, and that thing expires next week.
Literally.
I've never been.
You've never been?
It's on the book. Oh, honey, there's a mile-long list of things I haven't done that I got that exact reaction from. But yes, Disney World is one of those things. So if I was old buddy, I'd be on the plane tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you have been right next door.
Or Universal?
Well, you were in Florida.
Oh yeah, I was in Florida. I did go to its mall cousin, Disney Springs. We went there. That was interesting. I do remember we debated going, and then for like one night, it was more than I've made at work in 2 weeks. So,
Wow.
yeah, nar.
Not $7?
Not $7. Where was this ticket when I needed it? That's wild, bro. Disney, I don't know, y'all. Disney lovers, let me know what you think later after the show. We got 5 minutes left, and I'm not about to spend the last 5 minutes talking about Disney. We're about to move on Spotify.
Yeah, let's talk about some music.
Yeah, Gwen, Miss Music Librarian, please give us the details.
Of course, this is my two specialties, music and tattoos, because there's a new thing, a Spotify tattoo. It's a tattoo where you are basically able to have your favorite song on speed dial. So every song has a barcode on the streaming platform, which is used for sharing the content with someone when they scan the camera function on Spotify's mobile app. And if you get the code tattooed on your body, it will immediately play the content associated with it when scanned, only if the tattoo is designed well and fresh. The Wall Street Journal spoke with people who have done this, and some say their tattoos are no longer working on the body, and their skin has started to age. I think that is very, I don't know, it's a bit silly because it's not going to last forever. And I guess, you always have the...
What is wrong with you? Yes, sir!
Oh.
That's my reaction to that.
JT clearly doesn't like it.
I'm sorry, Gwen.
No, listen, I love getting tattoos, but I don't see the point of getting a tattoo that has a purpose, but then eventually the purpose will no longer work anymore.
That's exactly my opinion on tattoos, period. My thing is, I've always wanted a tattoo. I like the idea of having one. But the main reason I've not got one, money aside, is the fact that I can't think of anything that I would want on my skin for longer than, let's say, 5 years. Now, take that aspect, now a music code that's going to expire in probably a lot less than 5 years. Not only do I have a meaningless tattoo, I have a meaningless tattoo that did mean something and now it doesn't. That's just wild to me.
Yeah. I feel like people are just getting random tattoos.
Earl,
This
you
is...
got a think piece.
Yeah.
Bro, that's just ridiculous. That's probably the stupidest thing I heard in a minute. A barcode on your body? Come on, bro.
I don't understand it. It's wild to me. I don't get it. But hey, you know what? I don't knock anybody's decisions. You want to make stupid decisions. I mean, you're talking to the dude, the king of stupid decisions. I climb walls for fun. You can get a tattoo on your arm with a barcode that's going to expire in 3 weeks. You go, girl. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah, very interesting.
There's no song that you guys would get tattooed on you?
No. I'll just play it myself. I don't need a tattoo.
Yeah.
I'll just whip out the phone, play it. Whip out the vinyl, play it, something.
Yeah.
I don't know, okay, maybe if it was guaranteed to last forever and I got something super, super meaningful, I don't know, I was with my grandma in her last moments and this song was playing, maybe something like that. But hey, I like this song in 2014. Let me tattoo that on my thigh.
I wouldn't get a barcode, maybe a
lyric,
lyric,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
True, and even then, those can be a bit cheesy sometimes. So it's if you're even going for the barcode, that's okay.
And even if you're gonna get a lyric, I gotta make that a good lyric. What's a lyric y'all would get tattooed on you?
How do you pick?
That was a question.
That, yeah.
I don't know. I have movie quotes, but not song lyrics.
You're mad, bonkers, but all the best people are. Best movie quote ever, Alice in Wonderland. Love that.
That's hard to pick a lyric.
Well, I guess none of us have one, and none of us will be getting any tattoos soon.
That'll take a lot of thinking, I think.
Yeah.
I probably could have one. You know what? Y'all got homework. I'm giving y'all I'm gonna remember. But let's see if I remember. Start of next buzz. Let's see. Pick a lyric y'all would get tattooed anywhere, on your thigh, on your forearm, on your forehead, wherever. Y'all got room on your forehead.
By the start of next buzz, everybody needs a new tattoo.
All right. We are putting that out in the year here at 90.3 WSC Upper Montclair, and that has been officially the wrap of the second morning buzz of the spring 2024 semester. I am JT Bethea. You have been listening to the Morning Buzz. Don't you go anywhere, because right after us we have El Oraculo. I knew how to say it this time. I am so sorry, Roy. I did not give you the proper credit last time, so please, y'all, stay tuned.